Hey guys, let's go to problem 22, which is exactly similar question to 21, but it says R and S and T are the solutions to another cubic equations. We need to determine absolute value of R plus absolute value of S and absolute value of T. Right, so let's just try to write down 22 right here, okay? And we're gonna set x cubed, right? So x cubed minus 5x squared minus 5x squared, and we get minus 4x plus 20 equaling 0. All right, so that being said, what do we got to try? Well, I would say we got to try the step 1 and step 2 and step 3 that we've done in the previous questions, but I would say we can just try out listing down all possible list of positive integer factors or negative integer factors. So if we list down step number 1, I'm just going to say hashtag 1. Right, so if you follow the step number 1, I just need to find out that x will be probably, it's going to be positive or negative 1, or it could be positive or negative 2, or it could be positive or negative 3, it could be positive or negative 4, and ... not listing out all those numbers. And by the way, we need to get rid of some numbers out there. So let's erase some bits right there. So we get 4, and we get plus minus 5, and plus minus, like plus minus 10 and plus minus 20 will be, in fact, those possible list of integers, right? Okay, so integer roots. Okay, so we don't know whether all of them will work, or we don't really know whether any of these work. But if you look at those positive 1 and negative 1, I don't think it's gonna be possible. Why? Because if you plug 1 out there for sure, well, 1 minus 5 minus 4 plus 20 doesn't look like that's hitting 0. It doesn't look like hitting 0. What about negative 1? Negative 1 and minus 5 and plus 4 and plus 20, of course, it's not getting near 0. So what if you try x equals 2? I don't know, let's just give it a shot. So if you try x equals 2, then we get 8 and minus 5 times 4, which is 20, and we get minus 8 plus 20, and we get a jackpot, right? It works. So if we knew that it works, what do we need to try? We need to try with the synthetic divisions. So I'm going to say synthetic division right here. So number 2. So we're going to try synthetic division using x equals 2, because that worked obviously. So if I try with 2, of course, with all the other list of coefficients, written in chronological order, so negative 5 and negative 4 and 20. So we just got to write 1, and you multiply 1 by 2 to write it like 2, and you add it vertically to get negative 3. And if you multiply 2 by negative 3, you get negative 6 out there. And if you add it vertically, we get negative 10. And if you multiply 2 by negative 10, you get negative 20. And of course, that becomes the remainder of 0, and it makes sense. Like this tells us that it gets divisible. All right, so we're just going to switch of, like how these are written into a nicer form. We're going to multiply x minus 2, because that was the factor. That was basically how to translate that 2. And we're going to multiply x squared minus 3 times x minus 10 equaling 0. All right, so that being said, this will be x minus 5. And at the same time, you can multiply it by x plus 2, as you can see, right? So, all right, so what are the solutions? X equals 2 and 5, and I think I can write it negative 2 as well. So if I need to find out the absolute value sum of all of these, that becomes absolute value of 2 plus absolute value of 5, and at the same time, absolute value of negative 2. So we get 2 plus 5 plus 2, in fact, turning into 9, and that shall be the answer.